Hi everyone! So today we are learning about when Jesus healed a man on the Sabbath. So from this story, we learned that one of the most important things we can do is to help others. Now there are all sorts of ways we can help others. If you look here at Grace, there are lots of ways that we do that. We have our food pantry that helps lots of families every week. We have every year during our fall kickoff, we make school kits and health kits for Lutheran World Relief, and those go to people all over the world. And then we also have a prayer chain so that when people have something going on in their lives and they need some extra prayers, we can send out a note to the prayer chain and then they get some more support that way as well. So there are lots of different ways we help people here at Grace. So right now, with all the stuff going on in the world, sometimes it feels a little overwhelming to think of all the different ways people need help. There are lots of sick people in hospitals because of COVID-19. There are lots of animals whose habitats have been destroyed by wildfires. And there are people in our country that aren't being treated fairly simply because they have darker skin. It's hard to know where to start. But what we learn in the Bible is that the most important thing we can do is be a good neighbor and to show we care. So today, we are going to be good neighbors by making some cards. And the goal with this is to also be a little eco-friendly, to kind of care for creation with this. And we're going to use materials we already have on hand. So what you for sure need is you need some paper, or if you have some cards lying around like I do, that would be great as well. So then you need some glue, just regular old glue. And then either like something like birdseed, if you have colored sand, glitter, ask before you use glitter, or salt, something along those lines, so you can make a design on your card. So before we start, I have a couple examples of what I've done so you can see what the end result will look like. So here, I made one. You can't see it, might be the wrong way, but it says hello. I actually used some tea bags. I emptied out some old tea bags that weren't being used, and that's how we got that. I also use, like I said, we can use salt. So this one I made with salt and then just put some paint on there. You can do that as well. So I'm going to show you step by step how we kind of get here. So first off, if you don't have cards at home, you want a sheet of paper. So what you'll want to do is you'll need to fold it twice. And I don't know if it necessarily makes a big difference, but of which way you fold first. But either way, you want to fold what I call, is it hamburger, is this way. Yep. And then you want to do hamburger again. So that's still a thing, folding one way hamburger, folding one way hot dog. I know that was a thing when I was growing up. So double hamburger, folds, then you still get a nice little card, and then you can still write on the inside, and it's smaller and nice and everything. So got this, but I'm going to use this plain card. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our glue. So for this, I'm just going to draw a couple lines just to show you how it goes. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to use my glue. So the trick here is, like, especially, so I'm going to use my tea leaves because I think, one, it smells really nice, and two, they have a couple different colors on there. So I'm just going to show you the trick on how to do different colors. So here I just glued a line right there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my first color I'm going to use. I'm going to just sprinkle it right on the glue. And now I do have a piece of paper underneath my card, so it'll catch anything that doesn't quite get on my card or on the glue. Sprinkle on there, and you'll probably want to use a little bit more than what's necessary because you want to make sure that glue is covered up. Okay, then what you want to do after you do that is you want to shake it a little bit. And then again, I have paper underneath here, so I'm just going to knock off that extra, tap it a little bit. All right, I've got my first color right there. So now that I have that done, I'm going to make another line. And granted, you can make whatever kind of pattern you want on it. Like I said, you saw mine, I have hello on one, I have a flower on another. You can make a sun, you can make a tree, You can write a little note on there. You can say hello, or I miss you, or whatever else. So all right, now I'm going to take my second type of tea. Again, just putting it right on that glue. It smells so nice. Want to make sure the glue is covered. All right, I think I got enough on there. Go tap, 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 tap. Make sure I get it all on there. And see, since I already did the first one, that's all covered up. If I get a little bit on that line, that first line, it's totally okay. Not going to be the end of the world. If you are a real perfectionist, you might want to wait for it to dry, then do your next color, then tap, tap, tap. There's my second one. And then I'll do this again. I have 2 more colors, so then I'll just show you how that works. So I got another line right here. So yeah, so you can do patterns, you can do actual shapes, you can write words on there, or you can just go crazy, do something abstract and just make like little swirls or whatever, zigzags. Oh, I'm running out of my little green one now. So this might not be, apparently that was the tea bag I had the least amount of color in, but that's okay. Because that's the one thing we remember with all these crafts we do. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be something where you left your mark on it. Because that's what's most important, is that you feel like you get to be creative, that you get to make something with your own hands. Sometimes you get a little dirty. That's okay. All right, there's my third one. Oh, I did miss a spot, so here. I'm going to redo that. I missed a little bit of it on that other side. All right, now we're good. Now it looks better. Okay, last one. Put some more glue on there. I think I'm gonna make all sorts of cards with this tea because it smells so good, guys. I don't know if birdseed would smell that good or if salt smells that good. But maybe if you have special salt, like if you use if you have an herb garden at your home or have dried herbs, then that could smell really good too. Like I know, like my dog, if he smelled all sorts of food on a card, he might go a little crazy, so just be smart about how you would use that. But, all right, and there's my last one. So look at that. So again, it's not the prettiest pattern. Oh, I might have put too much glue on there. But yeah. It works, so then you gotta let this dry before you want to open it and write on it. Like this one too. We got that. Or if you want to, another trick I would say is if you're having a hard time with the actual glue itself, what you can do is put a nice little dollop of glue like on a paper plate or something, and then use a paintbrush like this, and then you can, like especially if you're writing, sometimes it's easier to do that. So now you have all sorts of ways to do that. I will say too, for this salt one, what you need to do if you use salt or sugar or something like that where it's just all white and you want to paint it. So I used watercolor, but you want to make sure it's completely dry before you start painting, because that's just going to make it a little bit easier, then the pattern's not going to move or anything. I used watercolors for that too, so that it's easier for that and it's easier to clean up. So that's, yeah, so that's our project for this week. So send me pictures. I want to see your cards, or you can send me a card too. I would love that. I would love to see cards. You can send them to the church. Yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys do. Other than that, we will see you next week.